today, and I have the awesome Baron Wiley here.
Got the awesome Wiley Davidson over here. Are you kidding?
All right. So, fantastic opportunity, and you gave me my start in radio.
You gave yourself a start in radio.
Well, I appreciate that very much. So, all right. So this is all about you and my project with SAC, and so I just wanted to find out a little bit more about you. I know that you are pumped and excited about your project that you got going on right now, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Starting October 1st, I became the steward over something called Boerne Radio. I feel like I worked my entire life to get here. Just as you look through my resume, I've kind of done every position to get to this point. And so, again, October 1st, I took over as the general manager of Boerne Radio. I created a company called Beaufart's Media Group.
I saw that. Okay.
And
what does that stand for? I mean, where does that come from?
Yeah, Beaufart's is not a word you ever heard. Beaufart's Media is not a new name. So it actually goes back to a childhood story of my kids. So get this, my kids when they were 4 and 5.
The volume.
Yeah. When my kids were 4 and 5, I was working at the Salem Media Group and a great company called KBRN Camps, which is a camp out in New Braunfels.
Right.
They gave me a little goodie bag, and inside it was a stuffed squirrel that's their mascot. And I was driving home and I went, oh no, I got a problem. I've got 2 girls and 1 squirrel. What am I going to do, you know?
Right.
So I had my speech already planned out, and I showed up and they saw the goodie bag and they go, Daddy, what'd you bring me? I'm like, well, hold on. All right, here's the deal. I got 1 squirrel, all right? So here's the deal. I said, it's not yours and it's not yours. You got to share this thing, all right? If I see you fighting over it, it's going in the trash. Is that clear? And they go, yeah, Daddy, yeah. So they take it, they run upstairs to their room where all their stuffed animals are. My mom comes over to babysit that night. My wife and I go out to eat. We come home. How was everything? My mom goes, all right, I got to tell you. They take me up to the room. They show me all their animals, and here's Crabby the crab, and here's Sealy the seal. And my mom says, and what's the name? She asked the 4-year-old, what's the name of your new squirrel? And she goes, it's Beaufart's. And she goes, why'd you name it Beaufart's? And she goes, no, that's not its name. It's not mine. It's not hers. It's Beaufart's. So we named my company Beaufart's Media Group.
How cool. And it has meaning. That's anytime you can do that with anything and really stick something like that, then it means something.
And it does to this day, because my wife, Shan Wiley, is 51% owner. So that means it's Beaufart's. She's got 1% more than I do.
Right. So at the radio station, you mean? Right.
Yeah,
okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I saw that. So, what a fantastic opportunity. So now, I was doing some research, and getting ready for it, and so I saw that it was actually shut down for a while, and that they didn't bring it back up until February 2019.
Correct.
And we're talking about Boerne Radio now, 1500 AM, what?
And 103.9 FM.
There you go, okay.
So there's 2 frequencies. They're hearing both things at the same time. But George Chambers is the owner. He's a very smart man. He's owned several stations and TV stations in his life.
Okay.
And he just saw that this station had gone dark, and that frequency was available and nothing was happening on it.
Right.
And so he approached the FCC, said, I'm interested. They allowed him to move his license over that station. Just that simple.
Okay.
So he took over and put it back on the air.
So does he have multiple stations, or?
As a matter of fact, he's got another radio station in San Antonio running out of his church. He's the pastor of a church near Converse. Right. And so he's got a low-powered station there. But over the course, he had one in Uvalde, and he sold that one recently in the last few years. But he is a classic station owner, and he's a great engineer, too. But right now, he's at a stage in his life where he's done it all. Right. He's got Boerne Radio, but I think he's kind of looking for an exit strategy. So the Lord just kind of worked it out where I'm there at the right time to be the manager, and my goal is to take it over from George as the owner.
Oh, it's fantastic. See, I didn't even realize that.
Well, but I need money, so how much money do you?
Well, we're willing to help.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you talk about a place that has tremendous opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the population right now of Boerne?
So according to the census back in 2010,
we're talking about 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, it was only like 10, 12,000. So now
and you're not
guessing,
10, 12,000?
Yeah, back then.
Well, see, I lived there in 2000. I took care of Gene Brown's ranch for 3 years, just outside Boerne, and it was more than that at that point. But I guess they're only counting.
The real people. Yeah. Now it's like 20,000, and they say in 10 more years it'll be 30,000. It's just
you won't even get the 2020 census.
No, exactly. Forget about it. Who knows?
So you can inflate the numbers if you need to.
but talk about just the quality of the people that live there. And if this opportunity came for me in San Antonio, I'd say forget it. There's no way I'd compete against 60 other radio stations.
Right. Well, double the median income for the
Correct.
people out there than it is in San Antonio.
Correct.
So-
And again, just great people. But the growth is huge, but it's the only station in Boerne.
Right.
Boerne Radios.
You don't have
no competition.
another competition.
There's
So
a-
there is one in Kerrville.
There's one in Kerrville,
Right.
but they're Kerrville.
Right.
And now Boerne has something to be proud of.
Boerne is very proud, and they are staunch. You know.
And they want to keep their small town too.
Right. Xenophobic
So,
almost.
so we're that's a good call. So we're going to run it like a small market station.
Right.
Very folksy, very homey.
That's the only thing that makes sense.
Our theme is to love your neighbor. Which kind of brings
Saw
back
that.
all the values of I love Boerne, I love Boerne Radio, love your neighbors. Is the two consistent themes that run through it. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
and could you have imagined as you were coming out of SAC and all of the other other jobs that you had and the other as you're building up, you're thinking, what am I doing here? And then could you have imagined that you were building that platform to be able to take over an entire station?
No, I was a guy who, while I was going to SAC, I was volunteering at a station down in Lytle, Texas.
You said for 4 years.
For 4 years, every
Right.
weekend I would drive down
Right.
to go do my little rock radio show on a Saturday morning. I'd turn on the
In Lytle?
transmitter. Yeah. I had to open up 2 cattle guard gates to get to the transmitter.
Oh, wow.
I'd have to turn it on and let it warm up for an hour. And then I'd sign on and do my show. And then the guy who did the shift after me, relieved me, and then I left.
Right.
And I drove 45 minutes to
You
get
said,
back
you rock
home.
and roll guy, you go.
Exactly. He played rap music, so I was done.
Oh, there you go.
But no, did I have any idea? I would have paid to do that.
Right.
And usually most guys like you and me would
Right.
pay to do what we love
Right.
to do.
Yeah.
And so I volunteered for 4 years, paid to go to SAC, and got on KSYM.
Right.
And if it wasn't for SAC, I would
San
not
Antonio
be doing,
College.
San Antonio College. I would not be doing what I'm
Professor
doing today.
Odom, San Antonio College.
That's right. Because of San Antonio College, that's what got me my first paid gig at Magic 105 to work with Sonny Melendres, who you just recently
Right.
interviewed.
Right.
And that just opened up a ton of doors. So no, I had no idea.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
See, now when I back in the day when I didn't get my college degree after my motorcycle accident, and the only time I ever went to SAC was during the summer because I had gone up to Southwest Texas in San Marcos.
A great school too.
And, oh, absolutely. But the only time that I had gone was because I had failed miserably for calculus. I could not pass that class.
Me too.
Oh,
I dropped calculus at UTSA like that.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't smart enough. I bowed out of it in high school and wasn't able to get it there. And he saw that. He said, "You're Mr. Magnus." I'll never forget. He said, "You're not really concentrating in this class." I had whizzed all math up until that point, and it was just like imaginary numbers.
Yeah.
I don't get this.
I
It
know.
doesn't make. So then I failed it the first time. I failed it at UTSA. So,
Right.
and then when
You're
I
not the
went,
same guy then, because I failed it too. I got a 30 on my first test. I was like,
Oh.
oh no.
and so I had to do something. So I finally went to SAC and passed it. But I would pass the radio television hall,
Yeah.
and I would think, wouldn't that be nice? But I never imagined.
So what's funny is about our friend Sonny Melendres, who also went there.
Right.
His teacher was Miss Jane Longfellow, right? Which is
right.
what the hall's named after.
Oh,
her.
right.
So anyway, so he goes back to First Station when it was just broadcasting to the cafeteria. That's all as far as the signal would reach.
No kidding. Oh wow, yeah. So he tells that story of seeing that window,
Yeah.
and just realizing. He said, "I spent my bus money to call my dad, say, Dad, can I change my major?" Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I told him, I used to listen to you when I was a kid,
Sure.
and I don't want to make him feel bad, but so I used to listen to you a while back. Is what
Right,
I
right.
don't tell. But he's just a great guy. Yeah.
Well, he's going to start on Sunday
On Saturdays,
On
right?
Saturdays.
Well,
yeah.
I'm hoping to be your
On
Sunday
Boerne Radio.
guy. So.
Exactly.
All right.
Done.
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Cool.
What an opportunity, really. And
I know.
excited for you because and from the very beginning when I called up and said, I think I may have an idea for a radio program,
Yeah.
and you were just like, let me help you, take this, read that, this is what you want to do, and you gave me the ability to let my personality out, because in essence I think there's a lot of people like us that really hold back, because for the most part the society doesn't say, okay, if you have talent, step out. What is it? What is it? The one of the college commercials where he says, nature evenly distributes talent. You can read nature the way it should be, which is a divine source.
Yeah.
But nature evenly distributes talent, but not necessarily opportunity. And really, that's the case. There's a lot of people out there that I think would do what we're doing if they were given that opportunity. And so that's really what I want to do is what you guys have done is give people opportunities. But then I'm also concentrating on making sure that there are from the nonprofit standpoint and the heroes that serve our community, that they are.
I love that. That's why I was immediately attracted to what you were doing there too, because radio is all about telling stories.
Right.
Radio is an intimate medium where you can. Man, I've got some audio. I have to go find it. But there was this one piece of audio that exists where this lady, there was a tornado happening in the Midwest somewhere, and she was in the basement, and the power's out, and the only thing that worked was the radio. And so she was able to actually call the radio station, and the DJ talked her, not through it, and kind of gave her peace to know that everything was going to be okay, and of course everything was okay. But you can't get that in any other media, so.
Well, and that's actually Sonny and I talked about the fact that television has made us lazy. I mean, it does everything for us. It's all boom, 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 and cut and dried. All the images are there, and you don't. There's no the thinking
of the mind.
Yeah.
And someone said there was an accident on 281 right outside this Alamo Cafe, and the circus is going through town, and the truck flipped over and 4 elephants walked out, and there's a bunch of monkeys chasing the elephants to try to get them back on. Well, your mind goes, I'm seeing elephants on 281.
Right.
But if you saw that on, like to your point, if it's done for you, it's no fun.
Well, yeah, it takes away it steals really from the young people. They no longer have that get up and go attitude that we grew up with. Knowing that we had to go out and make it. I mean, now they think they can be like Pootie Pie and make $600 million a year just playing video games.
I'd still pay to do what I'm doing, so I don't make any money. I'm still paying.
Well, you will, and that's it takes time. What is it? What the movie? Build it and they will come. Put the music out there, and eventually it'll pay off.
Amen.
Well, and like you were saying, the incredible revenue ability for that market, I couldn't imagine having a greater opportunity.
I've had people just say, I really don't need it, but I want to support you. I want to support the small businesses in Boerne. Okay, I've got no problem with that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
years ago when I was taking care of Gene Brown's ranch, and we were there for 3 years, and it's actually where I did this.
Motorcycle?
I put my arm through. This was I had a motorcycle accident. This was a plate glass window.
Oh my gosh.
At the ranch, and in 2003, 2002.
Did you slip into shock?
I didn't. My son actually helped attach a tourniquet. So he was 10 at the time, and he helped cinch a tourniquet down. I used my belt.
Wow.
And to get me until the emergency managers got there, until the EMS got there. Yeah, it was incredible. But so I remember I was working at Laja, they call it La Hacienda Mexican restaurant on the north side of town, and during 9/11.
Oh my!
And so that's how far back I go to that.
No joke.
Yeah. So I just stop in there one of these days and fancy. There were some really sweet people, and Diana, the owner. Yeah. So the owner's daughter.
Yeah. Good place. Good people.
All right. So where do you go from here? I mean, now to come out of, really, so you were at Salem, and then you left,
17 years.
right? And then decided, now the last I heard, you were going to South America.
To Mexico for that was part of the plan.
Okay. I thought you were even going deeper than Mexico.
I forgot. You're right. In Suriname, South America. I left Salem Media Group after 17 years because I was invited to participate in a ministry that was supporting missionaries.
Right.
And so this global, doing radio is great because you're touching the people in the city. This was an opportunity to impact the world. And so I jumped out of the boat, if you will, of this medium that I loved. Yes, we created a radio show and a podcast and created content and interviewed missionaries and celebrities and Oliver North and a lot of other good people.
Right.
But then this thing called COVID hit, and so that slowed it down, and then so we, it slowed it down a whole lot to the point where it
Yeah.
stopped.
Everything else too.
Yeah. But in that past year, we created a relationship with George at the Boerne Radio.
Right.
And again, just to kind of lay things from the place, it all makes sense now.
Right. Well, you went to His Glory first.
Yeah. I went from that was the name of the ministry. It's called To His
Okay,
Glory.
got it. Okay.
Yeah, To His Glory was the ministry, and so that's where I went. And then and then in about June was when the Trump money ran out. And so we were just a volunteer for 2 months. And again, because of God's perfect timing, I started October 1st.
Well, isn't it incredible that truly when you give, you will receive later on, and you receive it in a greater way.
And we got to send a lot of, we created an audio player that sent the Bible on audio to missionaries in the language that they needed.
Right.
So we were able to, lastly, the last project was in Uganda, in the Lugandan language, which is also Sudanese Arabic. This missionary smuggled his last batch of Bibles in loaves of bread, because it's so intense there.
Right.
And so our product is small. You can fit it into a deck of cards.
Right.
So ministry happened, and it was pretty cool to be a part of it. But I think the Lord had another plan for today.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So I meet you at the beginning was August, was end of July, 2019, and then I come in.
You come in and then I quit.
Yeah, I come in and I did my demo, and I didn't hear anything for a couple of days. It's like, wow, I guess I didn't really do very well. And finally I called you, and you go, well, good, you did good, but they sold the radio station the day after you did your demo, so we're kind of up in limbo. Just give me a little bit. Right, that was the first thing.
That's right.
And then I go, okay. And then a couple of months later, you go, well, you're on. You start in October, and I quit.
Yeah.
I'm leaving. He's like,
Yeah.
what?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were so kind and gracious to me too. Thank you. Thank you for your encouragement that you've been to me. That's part of it. You're a professional. That's the difference.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And then, well, you got to stick it out. Whatever it takes. It's well, we were talking about. You said, how did you do that? It's like, well, divine inspiration. What was it? Providence, right? And then strategy, perseverance, and then Sunday added the fourth, which was passion.
Passion.
Yeah,
Wow, that's good.
You gotta have it. Yeah.
So when does your book come out?
Pretty soon. Yeah.
That's chapter. Those are the 4 chapters you're gonna cover.
You what? I will. And that's really what got me here. Is that from the time I was little, I saw myself as a writer. I mean, I love words and terminology, and so I've actually written a book. It's just a very skinny sales book, but I would love to do that. I really would.
We'll do a book signing in Boerne.
There you go. All right. We'll work on it. All right. So you have to go pretty soon.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So the structure that you're going to put to the radio station. So you're going to draw from all the places that you've been?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, I'm a one-man show. So I'm the general manager, I'm the sales manager, I'm the promotions manager, I'm the program director, board operator, and and just doing it all. So I wake up in the morning and I look at the playlist and make sure the station's on the air. I'll make a few changes.
Make sure nothing happened overnight.
Exactly. Make sure that we're still rolling.
Because the station itself has only been terrestrial since 2017.
Yeah, correct. And George didn't officially take it over until last year.
Right.
And so he's again just been operating for over a year.
May of 20.
So right now, and again too, and I love George and what he's built. He's laid a very nice foundation. The infrastructure is there. I'm not totally starting from scratch.
Right.
But I tell you what though, George is
the kids do get to eat.
Yeah, exactly. But he's just built a very good thing, and it's just like I couldn't make a dream, like you said. But I'm doing it all right now. But hopefully, as we grow, I'm going to hire someone in sales, and I'm going to hire someone in programming, and hire somebody in business because I need a business manager.
There you go.
So it hopefully creates some new jobs.
Sure.
That's what it's about too.
Right. Well, and I'm sure it's already creating a buzz in Boerne.
It is. It is. Yeah. People are really excited about it. They share my posts.
Right.
I didn't know Boerne had a station.
Right.
So it's very.
Well, you are. I mean, literally, you're picking it up from the ground floor, and where you go. I mean, what a testament that's going to be when you're finished.
Yeah.
Is to show, hey, when I came in, we were nothing. We were ground floor. Yeah. Yeah.
My ultimate vision here is Kerrville's got the folk festival up there, so I'm going to create our own music festival in Boerne someday here too. So.
Well, and Boerne already draws in so many people for the like a market day kind of a thing.
We just need a big field. I think they have a few fields around there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then they do the movies and the band, don't they, on during the summers? Don't they still do that?
Well, I'll be spending my first summer there.
Yeah. Oh,
next
right.
year.
Yeah, the gazebo. They'll play.
Oh, I get you in that place. Yeah. I'm thinking something bigger.
Right.
I gotta go big.
Yeah. Well, there's like a rodeo grounds not too far.
Yeah, that's true. The Kendall County Fairgrounds.
There you go.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, when can you start?
I'm ready. I'm ready. That's my dream is to get people excited and to help them enjoy themselves, but also talk about the fact that there's more to life than just having fun, and it has to be, like you said, about helping people,
loving your neighbor, and loving God, and creating communities. Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing anything else?
Well, if I had to, I told you. I don't know if I told you, but I used to work for a record label. I was working for Sonny at Magic 105 in the 90s, and then I got a job at a record label. I got recruited to work for a record label, and that was a lot of fun. Because we started off in this guy's garage, just he and I, and then we ended up moving into the Weston Center on the 24th floor in downtown San Antonio. That was cool.
Rubbing shoulders with the big guys.
Well, yeah, you know what? Not match frame. Oh my gosh. Rackspace started in that office.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Because Graham Weston stole our IT guy, and Greg Weston owned the record label. So they're brothers. And so anyway, so the label grew and it moved to Nashville in 2000, and so. And I didn't go to Nashville because I met a girl, and I ended up marrying that girl.
Okay, there you go.
And started my family here in San Antonio. So I had to kind of fall back on my roots of what would I do if I didn't have that.
Right.
And so I got back into the restaurant business. And so I worked at the Club of Santerre for 13 years, working my way through college, and that turned out to be my career. But I was always working in radio during the day. It was my fun job until that turned into my career. So if the radio ended tomorrow, Alamo Cafe, y'all need any help?
Right.
But I think I'm in a good spot where I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah. I think it's exciting. I really can't wait to help you out.
Did you hear that? He's going to help me out.
Oh yeah. Whatever I can do. Yeah. And so even just this right here. Yeah. You need the publicity. You need to get the promotion. To get it out there,
Running Radio 103.9.
Did they when you came in? Did they say anything to you?
I just walked right past them.
Why did you? So I told I'm all about stunts and stuff like that. So I told him, I said when he comes up to you, he's got a beard. When he comes up to you, say, you mean you're the Baron Wiley?
No, dude, that's fine. Whatever.
No, just to get a chuckle. Yeah.
That's good. That's happened before too. I never do well on those things.
Right.
But I'll have to tell you some
Yeah. Why?
Why? Yes, I am. Who are you?
Were the police here first?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Keep it fresh.
Oh yeah, you got to do it. So, I can't imagine being in a better place. I really can't. Especially with the foundation that you laid, getting to know the ins and outs, the whole structure, the whole foundation of a radio station, and now to be general manager. Now I was looking up the median income or general managers, and so you're making a lot of money already.
Right now I'm making zero.
But you
can look it up all you want.
You're on your way up.
That's the average between 0 and 200,000.
I put in my notes. I said, he's just getting started here.
Just getting started.
So I think that what they're saying is the median is probably not where he's at yet, but he's going to get there. Well, actually, the Wikipedia shows 58,000, something to that effect.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry. Glassdoor reported that the median salary of a radio station general manager was $58,156. Oh, I didn't I didn't even put in the other one. It was 138,000.
Oh, that hurts.
Well, no, just make sure that
We're on
Mr.
track.
Chambers knows
Exactly.
where you're. This is where I'm projected to be.
Well, the only
It was 138,000 and change.
the deal is that there's no ceiling, and you know, with sales, you sell more. You want to make more, you sell more.
There you go.
And who knows what other opportunities can happen because of this station?
Right.
It could turn into another station. Maybe the two stations that we have that are playing the same can split, and I can double the the advertising opportunity. And that doesn't mean we can't add more things like events, concerts, and book signings. When we do that.
Yeah.
So you just create more channels to get us to $138,000.
There you
That'd
go.
be nice.
Well, and like you said, there is no ceiling.
Yeah.
And then, so for you to have that focus of saying, okay, I serve, this gentleman. He owns the station, and now it's actually listed under Bonnie Chambers.
Bonnie Chambers is his wife.
Okay, I figured as
Female-
much. I didn't
female
want
owned.
to. Okay, there you go.
All strategy.
There is a reason for that. Absolutely. And so by doing that, and you're saying, okay, I'm here to benefit these people. And when you do that, and when you really are honest and sincere about that, and
Good things
really,
happen.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I've always believed that, and I think we do too.
Yes.
Just doing the right thing.
We have to serve. We all. If we don't, something's wrong, and we're not going to get anywhere. When the talent that somebody's given, when it's used internally for a selfish focus, then it's worthless, and it goes nowhere.
Yeah, it's a hard issue. You crystallized it perfectly. I can't add to that.
But I don't know. My mom was a master at just really encapsulating things and bringing them down to what was meaningful.
Sweet.
So,
God bless your mom.
well, thank you very much. Sir.
Yeah.
Well, she was the impetus for the program.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, when we lost her in July of 2019, I realized there are a lot of people out there that do exactly what she did. She gave everything she had. She was a registered nurse all my life, and she gave so much to the community. And I realized there's other people out there that they've never gotten that 15 minutes of fame. And if I can do anything in my life to bring them some hope for the future and some realization that what they're doing is a benefit to the community, that's what I want to do.
Wow. Well, by law, the FCC says you must serve the community. So there's a part of you that has to do it.
There you go.
But if you want to do it,
Right.
that's the difference.
Yeah. Well, anybody that's doing something because they have to,
Yeah.
then that doesn't work out. That's one of those things.
But protecting the license is the number one goal because the FCC could find you and ding it and take it away tomorrow.
Right. And actually, that happened I guess right after it became KBRN,
Yeah.
right? Because they say, well, no, it's been off for too long.
Yeah.
Because they get the construction permit to move it,
Yeah.
and then in doing so, then they said, well, you've been off the air for over a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They try to go back and get it or
So
support it.
what an amazing thing to be able to go, because it was different call letters at one point.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and then to be able to go.
Speaking of call letters,
Huh?
the call letters are KBRN.
Right.
For Boerne.
Right.
Boerne Radio.
Right.
My name is Baron. B-A-R-O-N. B-R-N. I'd like to buy a vowel and put those in there,
Yeah.
What are the chances of that?
Who knows?
Crazy,
Is
isn't
it just is it only circumstance, or is it?
Yeah. Someone's winking at me.
There you go. Well, no, I think it's one of those things where all roads lead to where you are, and who would you have even chosen to have done it? When you look back and you say, well, now that I'm here, when I was there, I wasn't really, I knew I was, I knew it was trying, but now that I'm here and looking back.
I got to give credit to, again, our mutual friend, Sonny Melendrez, because I was working with Sonny. Now, the record label moved to Nashville.
Right.
I went back into the restaurant business. I managed a diner at the Forum in Lincoln Heights, which is it's a assisted living place. Real nice.
Right,
It's a
right.
country club for seniors.
Yeah.
And it was because of Sonny. I invited Sonny to come play golf with me. He brought along the sales manager from KSLR from Salem.
Oh.
And so I got to meet him, and that turned into me and Sonny working at KLUP. I'm in the job for 6 months, and the general manager retires, and the operations manager, Dave Gordon, becomes the general manager. Now the operations manager position is open. And the general manager said, Baron, if you want to apply for the job, you should. And I thought about it, and I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be the operations manager. You know, I love what I'm doing with Sonny. This is fun. And if I did that, then something's going to change. Something's going to change, and I wouldn't. And I told Sonny about that. And I said, Sonny, if I apply for this, then I have to. And Sonny goes, dude, do it. You know,
Right.
he goes, who cares? He goes, you don't get the general manager asking you to do this. Yeah. I was like, well, okay. And so I became the operations manager, which turned into the program director, which turned into the sales manager, which turned into the director of sales.
Right.
And so the last thing on the list was to be the GM.
There you go.
And so here we are.
Right.
You know.
Well, it takes that.
But I got experience in all those
Right.
things to do what I'm doing today.
Right.
It's crazy.
And now you'd be able to put the people into place and say, well, no, I know exactly. You can't fool me and know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Get out there and
exactly.
do it.
Oh, that's good. I'm not that kind of guy. I'll let you fall down as many times as it takes. A couple times.
Well,
but you got to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
But talk about putting people on the right side of the bus. I'm driving the bus and there's nobody back. So
There will be.
There will be.
You're gonna stop the bus
You
for
know,
a minute and go.
let people
Open the
on.
door. Yeah.
And get this, and I just came from an appointment. I met with the Salvation Army right now.
Huh?
And after I made my announcement that I was going to start the station, a professional reached out to me and she said, I got furloughed from my radio gig and I would love to, would you please hire me, is what she said. And I said, I would love to hire you, but I'm driving the bus. I'm not stopping.
Right.
I said, but if you'd like to volunteer, then we should stay in touch. I kind of gave her an out,
Right.
like, I'm not hiring you. I can't afford you. And she says, I would love to volunteer. And so she's the one who helped get the appointment with Salvation Army, and she's just fired up. And so yeah.
Now, is she on the website?
She's on the website today.
Okay.
Yeah, I just put her up this past week.
I saw her last night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I saw her.
Perfect.
I don't remember
Her
the
name
name.
is, her name is Tanya.
Okay.
Yeah. Tanya
Awesome.
Means. And as a matter of fact, she made the announcement on her Facebook page, and Antonio Daniels, former Spur, said that he wrote a note and said congratulations.
Oh, awesome.
So now on the radar of one of the
There you
great
go.
Spurs greats there.
Now I gotta admit, the picture that you got from there, not your best picture.
For mine? For me?
Yeah.
I know, I'm not that pretty.
That's
I'm
not.
pretty.
You look like you're growling. It's like that's
I'm
not
haggard.
Baron.
I was pretty tired then. You're right. I need some new headshots. But we're in radio.
Right.
You're not supposed to see us.
Right.
You're supposed
No,
to,
you're
you're
right.
supposed to,
But when they do see you, it's
I know.
good. Yeah.
And everybody says the same thing. You're not what I thought you looked like.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I look like. I'm haggard. So, but I look better than my picture. That's okay, right?
There you go. Yep. Yeah,
That's fine.
I used to have some real estate pictures, and that's exactly what they told me. They go, "You're growling in your picture."
Is that a
I know,
growl?
but- No,
That's a
not
happy
the-
one.
That's not. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's an even. I could go either way.
And you've lost weight.
Yeah.
How much?
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was pretty porky in that picture. I was. And even
I
then,
didn't say that.
I didn't know it. Even then,
I'm just seeing your face.
yeah, right. Because you can tell. Even then, I just got the doc was going through, and they were giving me my report, and he is obese. It's like,
What?
yeah, no, I am.
Great.
So I got work to do.
Oh,
yeah, the doc says I'm obese. So
I hate that phrase.
well, if that's what it takes to motivate me, whatever.
You didn't say pre-diabetic, too, did you?
No.
Yeah, Lord.
So I'm just so excited, and so I'm sure your phone's ringing off the hook that people are saying, like you said, they're volunteering, they're offering to volunteer now,
Yeah.
but they know that you're sitting on top of a gold mine. You really are. I mean, I know that's not the way you're approaching it.
Yeah.
I think if you were approaching it that way, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the way you're approaching it, but that's exactly where you're at.
Yeah. I share the same hope. I got to figure out, my daughter's a freshman at Ohio State.
Oh,
And
wow.
we have enough
man.
money to cover her first semester. We don't know how we're going to pay for number 2.
Right.
So my goal is to pay for my daughter's school.
There you go.
My wife, she works at a nonprofit called Any Woman Can. So
I saw that.
So a quick plug for Any Woman Can. It's
Right.
a wonderful ministry that helps girls in crisis, free pregnancy tests, free sonograms, free counseling. She would like to not be doing that forever. You know,
Right.
she's great at it, but if she can volunteer, use her talent there, and if I could take that burden off.
Right.
That's the goal too.
We all have taken on a lot, and especially for her to be there and support you all these years.
Yeah.
When I got to admit, when I go to my wife and I say, I've got a great idea, and the
Oh,
first thing
boy.
she says,
Here
is
we
like,
go.
they haven't always worked, Riley, and I'm sure your wife feels the same way. It's like
She's awesome. My wife is awesome. I'm a fan of hers, and she's been super supportive and excited for me. She finally, she goes, finally you get to do what you want to do. So
Yeah.
she's on board. And
Yeah.
excited.
So that it took a year, about a year.
Yeah.
For
And I learned a
instance-
lot in the past year too,
Right.
from my experience in the nonprofit, and the guy that I worked with. He taught me a lot about boldness and not being shy and asking for things, and loves the Lord like crazy. So I learned a lot from there. But that also gave me experience in one thing that I didn't have experience in before, and that was I helped build the website. So as sales manager before, I wasn't building websites. Now I was responsible for all the social media and websites. So that whole year was very important training for this time.
Sure.
Too. So
Yeah.
it's all
Well,
part
it
of-
becomes very time intensive, and so
correct.
that's
You
kind of
can
what I'm
spend
doing.
too much time
Exactly.
on it. It's too dangerous.
Yeah. It is.
You got to
It
sell
is.
something too.
Yeah, I like being out and doing this, and that's why I'm training. As you can
Hannah's
see.
over here doing a good job.
Hannah, the well, see now that she's
Producer.
there you go, the producer and the photographer. So what I was telling her is that Sonny Melendres first, Baron Wiley now. So in essence, we can make you some business cards. You are the photographer to the stars.
Oh, get out of town, dude.
Yep. Got to think big.
Filling me up, yeah. Well, who's next on your radar then? Who's the next star?
Oh wow! I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
I
talk.
don't know. We'll have to. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I can't tell you how much I thank you. I know that the individuals, not only the professors and the students at the mass communications class at San Antonio College, they're going to be excited to see you.
I'm very
a
grateful.
SAC alum.
Very grateful
and
for SAC. San Antonio College is an amazing resource that
and you can tell Professor Odom right here that you want to be involved in.
let me help you. I'd love to come talk to the students there.
Every Friday she sets something up
that's
for
awesome.
somebody to give extra credit for people to get an exposure to the different. We had one a gentleman that was a photographer in Beirut after the explosion. You talk about some dramatic stuff. Yeah,
It's huge.
and that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do this, because I know that radio is like the medium, because in essence it's what it came before TV, and
100 years. 100 year anniversary is
right, exactly. And but also when you're in a casualty event or an emergency management event,
tornado warning.
exactly, people are going to be turning to the radio. That's why you need to be there.
Here's where the internet again has hurt so many other different industries there too. I mean, the phone book,
Right.
gone.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Magazines. So help me, it's on the phone. It's on the internet.
Right.
The only thing, television. I watch television on my phone.
Right.
Well, now I've got a radio in my pocket.
Right.
Podcasting is blown up. People are consuming more media now,
Right.
and they're creating more great content. And like you just said, radio is the one thing that you can kind of count on for local.
Because one of these days, and it's happened before, one of these days somebody's going to pull the plug on the internet. Maybe it's not somebody, but something's going to happen, and when we need it, it's not going to be there.
Radio's still there. You're absolutely right. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Well, and I've done a lot of emergency management training and what have you, and I know that is something that needs to be incorporated into what we do. It's
Correct.
really, it was one, I don't know if you remember, but it's one of the things that really got me to reach out from the job that I have as an insurance adjuster, to reach out to you and say, I had an idea and they didn't really like the idea, but I know it's worthwhile, and so that's why I want to pursue it.
Telling stories, honoring people like you do, shining a spotlight on nonprofits, heroes, teachers.
They're out there,
They're out
and we
there.
got to find them.
Exactly.
And we got to give them their opportunity.
Correct.
Baron, thank you.
Huge. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
Oh yes, sir. My pleasure.